How do you juggle it?
I do. I mean, I do. I make it work, and there are times where it works in my favor and it doesn't, but I just make it work. But thank God I have incredible teams in different areas, and we make it work.
You know, the funny thing is that when we're pursuing, when we get everything off the ground, we're working for that day when it starts to work. How does it feel when it starts working?
It's like coming up for air. It's like, oh my gosh, okay. When the checks start coming in and certain things are like you're moving and you're seeing the rewards from just the labor, it's a beautiful feeling. And I think that's what got me at this mind state of just like trusting the process, trusting myself, trusting my God, trusting my thoughts. So it's definitely a wonderful feeling, because all that second guessing and all that, like all those preconceived notions you have of thinking you're gonna fail or it's not gonna work, all of that gets wiped away. And it's just, you're so at ease and you feel so good. It's just, it opened me up to like, damn, what's next? And that's why people now, they're like, yo, what can't you do? I'm like, I'm gonna just do whatever. I'm gonna wake up one day, I'm gonna just do whatever. Because once you get past that first hurdle of, oh, this works, I actually succeeded. It's like, okay, now I'm kind of creating a checklist. Like, what do I want to do next? What do I want to tackle next? So it's a good feeling.
It's funny because most of the time people work at their goal and their dream with the concept of seeing a finish line. Do you see a finish line?
No, I mean, I like to work. I like to be creative. And as I'm continuing to grow, there are new things that I wanted to do. 3 years ago, maybe even 4 or 5 years ago, I never thought about putting out a book. Never thought I'd be working with Hillary Clinton. Never thought I'd be working with Louis Vuitton. So it's all these things that if I were to put a deadline or just an end on my race, that'd be it for me. So it's just like, I'm happy continuing. That's why I call myself a creator. I'm happy creating. And I'll continue to do that till I'm like, you know what? I'm satisfied. I'm cool. I don't need to run this 15K. Maybe I could do a 5K right now. But it's me continuing to create. That's my deadline or my finish line or what makes me happy.
Now you're at this place, and I think people get to a place where, you know, they start to get a lot of attention. You have a really good following because you support, you give back. But at the same time, there's parties, there's dating, there's, you know, everything that comes with success. How do you balance all of that?
It's definitely not easy balancing. I say it's like a seesaw effect. When I'm winning in one area, I'm failing in another. And that's unfortunate, because I've had this conversation with my parents where they're like, oh, why aren't you married with kids? Because my brothers have successful careers, and they are. I was like, it's different. I literally can watch my brother come home, and he goes down to his man cave, and he plays video games for 2 hours. But now I'll watch his wife come home. She can't do that. She'll have 5 seconds maybe to pour herself a wine or a sangria, but she has to continue. Once you leave one job, you come home to another. So it's different. And I don't think people fully understand that. And it gets like where I have to build these walls around me, which is unfortunate because you don't know who's genuine. And in LA, it becomes very scary, where it's like, I don't know if somebody wants to build a genuine relationship with me. And this goes for everything. So it's like, I don't know if they really want to be my friend. I don't know what type of energy they're bringing. I don't know if they're really here for it. It's once you got to start checking things off. I'm like, hey, nice to meet you. Okay. Are you here because you want a deal? Are you here because you just want some clout? Are you here because you want to get into the parties? Are you here because you want to be friends with YG, with Pusha, with Lil Wayne? I have like a whole checklist. Like as soon as you got to go through it. So it's definitely a process. It's not the easiest, but it's a lot of things I felt like I have to sacrifice in order to make my goal, in order to sustain things. And at times people don't get it. You know, I am sacrificing a lot of myself, and people become very selfish because they're like, why are you not coming to this? I'm like, well, you know, the house you like or the car or the things you want and XYZ. That's me sacrificing this to get to this. So it's like, pick what do you want? Like, I can't, you know, people are still getting used to understanding, like, okay, I have to understand this is her career, this is her life. They think you can just drop it and just, oh, I'm gonna go do X, oh, it's gonna run itself. It's not like that. And it's unfortunate, you know, I'm still going through the motions of trying to like let go and having a great team set in place. And it's definitely taking me some time, but it's not easy at all in any sense. Like, I love my niece and nephew, and I love spending time with them. And it's like, I usually take them for 3 weeks out the year in the summertime. So they stay with me, they go everywhere with me. And it's like, this year I can't take them. And, you know, I had a conversation with my brother. He's like, oh, well, why can't you take them? And I'm like, well, I'm gonna use this downtime because I need to, you know, focus on my health and X, Y, Z. And he's like, well, they'll be with you. I'm like, what? Like, not how are you feeling? What do you need? None of that. It's, you want me to take your kids. So, and you're not gonna drop them off with no money. So it's like, I'm gonna have to make a whole itinerary. And these aren't kids that sit in the house. We don't do that. Every day is something. I have to take them somewhere and do something because they look forward to this. And it's like, you don't even get or respect that I need a minute. And that is a lot where it's just like, because you're so selfless, people around you become selfish, and you have to teach them like, hey, I need a minute to myself. I need to be okay. Because at times when you are the superhero to so many people, people don't feel like, you know, you deserve a superhero. Like, you know, it gets frustrating. But again, I just continue to look at the glass half full and still try to make time for myself. Still try to pour back into me, because nobody wants an empty cup. So I just continue to pour back into me, give myself the love and light that I give give to so many others.
You've been in the industry for well over 10 years now.
Mm-hmm.
What's one of the most important things you've learned from the, I wouldn't just say the industry, but in life?
Oh, not to take things personal. For so long, I'm like, I would do the why and the woe is me, and now I just don't take things personal. And that's really it. I wish I could super divulge into examples, but it's just, I don't take things personal. I have to remember in this world, you know, there are, and I say this in the most respectable manner, but I'm like, in this world, in this industry, there are 4 different types of animals. So there are eagles who soar, there are crabs who bring you down, there are snakes, and you know what they're for, to bite, to whatever, and then there are chickens. So it's like, what do you choose to be? And that's the place I put people in who do certain things. I'm like, okay, you're doing what you're supposed to. Like, you're a snake, you're doing what you're supposed to. You're a crab, you're pulling me down, you're doing what you're supposed to. So I make sure I just surround myself with eagles.
Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Well, I mean, have we won the election, I'd be in DC right now. But I don't really know. I'm open. I'm open to continuing to grow my brand. Just with True, just with LOL, with Live Civil, Always Civil, but it's just continuing to grow my brands in many different platforms.
And what would you tell your 5-year-old self?
At 5?
What would you tell your 5-year-old self?
Pick up cookies and milk. I wasn't like, life was easy at 5. I mean, continue enjoying life. I think I was peaceful at that time. It was no issues. Maybe my 13 or 14-year-old self, you want to say? Yeah. Oh, don't worry about conforming. Don't worry about like the now. We get so caught up in, I just remember in high school, in elementary school, it was like the it kids and like not fitting in, and just not even not fitting in, it's just like not being one of the cool kids, or just worrying about what they labeled me as and thinking this mattered. It was just that moment in time, and it was so much more to life than after that. And realizing, Karen, is so much more to life than that moment you think is so terrible. So it's just not letting certain things get to you and not giving it the attention that it deserved. I understand that now, but I wish I would have fully engaged in that attitude at that age and been more carefree then.
Last one. So, you know, a lot of people, I think the perception these days is that we're all bosses straight away.
Oh yeah, I mean, yep.
I'm the boss.
Yeah. I mean, that's what Instagram's for. Instagram's your fantasy. You create the life you want for yourself. You let people know what they want. And sometimes I think, you know, people use the boss mentality as they're speaking into existence. Like, I want to be a boss. But everyone just says they are. I'm like, no. So you're working towards attaining that title. And it's, you know, so many people get stuck on it.
But you've clearly put years into this, you know, starting as an intern. And I think a lot of us don't promote the process of starting from somewhere because everyone wants to be the same.
No, the process has always been there. It's just social media is big now and you don't get to see it. If social media was big 10 years ago, you would have saw my process. I mean, if you look back on my Instagram, you see my process. You see me sitting in a cubicle. You see me at a desk. You see me at a desk before you see me in the office. So it's what people choose to see. I've always highlighted my process, you know, since creating my social and things of that nature. It's what people decide they want to see or what they want to engage in. But it's always been there. But now, you know, social media is rampant. Everyone's successful. Everyone's rich. Everyone has $1 million in their bank account. That's what they want people to see. And that's the quote unquote perception of what everyone's living. We know that. We know that's not true. But again, I'm not focused on what's happening to my left or to my right. I'm focused on my journey. And I think that's the thing that's missing with a lot of us who are just entrepreneurs or millennials who are growing. We're like, oh, well, look, this person just bought this or this person just got that. That's great for them, but what are you doing towards your goal in your career? Like, my process has always been there. It's never gonna change. I've always showed you me sitting at that desk, me just getting that interview, me like, when I first got here, I had a Nissan Altima. Like, I've never hid these things. You know, I've always spoke on them. And it's people choose what they want to divulge and what they want to take in, you know, and what they don't. That's up to them. But I've always been upfront and spoke about when I do these panels and I do these things and I do these interviews. I moved to LA and I was sleeping on my friend's couch. And then me and her used to share a bed till I got my room. You know, I wasn't rushing like as soon as I need to get here, I need to get an apartment, I need to switch up my whip, I need to do X, Y, Z. I wasn't living for everybody else because everybody else was driving a BMW. People like, yo, you got to get a Benz, you got to, you got money now. I'm like, what does that mean? I need to invest this money back into me. I'll get that in due time, but that's me not following everybody else's process or me worrying about like conforming to what people think. You know, you're in LA now, you living it up. I'm like, no, I'm still grinding. The first year, I'd say I was still grinding. People aren't gonna make me, I have had people like throw it back at me and try like, oh, she's in LA, she's not doing nothing. Oh, she's on so-and-so's couch. I'm like, it's better than what you're doing. You're talking about me. So I'm okay. I'm okay with that process that I had 8 years ago when I moved here from sleeping on somebody's couch to buying my condo that I have now. I'm okay with that. So the process, again, has always been there. It's what people decide they want to take in. Hi, this is Karen Civil, CEO, philanthropist, author, creator, of course, and I am MYCOMEUP.